Back to decision time. The car had a replacement tailgate for years with it that I never used. It was pretty damaged up, but it's not rotted out. See how bad it is. And somebody did the old slide hammer called 70s bodywork trick. And then I have the original skin that was on the car, where the skin itself has a little rust on it at the bottom, but the inside of it's good and solid, but doesn't have damage. But the old tailgate shell was rotted away, where this shell, I can pick it up with one hand here, should prove interesting. Aside from surface rust, it's perfectly solid. So I think we're gonna take two and make one. Mostly because I don't have the money to go get another tailgate. And what they're charging for shipping on things nowadays is beyond stupid. So let's figure out how I'm gonna attack this, and I'll bring you back. I'm just gonna pause the video here because there's no point in you guys sitting here for 20 minutes, half an hour watching me drill out more spot welds. Well, we got the good tailgate shell all stripped down, wire wheeled, and God, it was a lot of wire wheeling to get all the surface rust and everything off. And it's been coated and sealed. So now the fun is going to be is taking that tailgate skin and retrofitting it to this shell. Hopefully all goes to plan, but that's tomorrow's project, or maybe the next day. Yeah, well, we got the replacement skin, or good use skin, laying over the good frame, and it's just sitting there. Now we come to the fun part. Get some light here. Hopefully you guys can see. What we got to do is roll this edge back over. But as you can see by that corner, it's not fitting just right. And then the top edge is pretty good. But then we come over to this corner. We can see how this corner sprung up. So now the fun begins. The sliding it left and right and working it back and forth to get it lined up. And then once you get it all lined up, then what we can do, turn the cutoff wheel right across that line right in there, all the way down. And do the old butt weld it together routine. In case you guys wonder what I keep feeling for, what I'm checking is you see these holes right here? That's where the original trunk trim went across, or tailgate trim. Making sure that is actually flush with the inner structure there and there. And then if you go to the other side, same thing here. That one's flush, and that one's flush right there. Now the camera really doesn't show it well, but by doing that, since there's a recess on the back side, my finger's pointing, that's where the trim bolts through this way, and that all lines up. So that tells me I got the tailgate pretty much where it needs to be, and I'm also looking at is where the factory spot weld is right up in here. From the old skin, that one lines up there. That one lines up there. That one's pretty close to lined up. Now I know these weren't quote unquote machine built, they were done by hand, but it should be close enough to say, yep, we're in the right place. Now I go back to bang and making some more noise. Figured I'd throw a little tidbit in here of how I normally do my butt welds. What I like to do is I'll overlap the panel just a little bit, and then I'll come back with the cutoff wheel. I'll cut a short section out, put a tack weld. Cut another section out, tack weld, etc. And I use a really thin cutoff wheel. Some people like to use the 5 or 4.5 inch grinder cutoff wheels, which is fine. Me personally, unless you can get it angled just enough to where you get a thin line, using the really thin air powered cutoff wheel works the best for me. Everybody has their own personal preference. Got all that welded back in and done. Might not be perfect, but it's going to be used as a truck.